Okay, now I am processing acorn squash for my husband and I for this winter. So if it'll stop being blurry, I've got 4 of them. Each one of them cost me 50 cents. Each half is a half a cup, maybe a little tiny bit more. And so with a meal, we each have a half a cup of squash. And so you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 meals. Each acorn squash costing 50 cents. So you're not going to get any better than that in the store even. Well, maybe if prices go back down, but the latest when I was in and looking at Great Values, cans of vegetables, they were well over $1, $1.28 and $1.48. So this is a very affordable thing to get in the fall. It's plentiful at the farm stands right now. If you don't have farm stands near you, or you have no way to get to a farm stand, or you don't want to buy what's in Walmart or the local grocery store, I would definitely, and this isn't an ad or sponsor, but I would definitely look into sites like Azer's Standard, where you can order boxes full of acorn squash. For me, I just cut them in half, I clean them out, I put them in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then I take the baked squash and I partition them into the half a cup or cup servings, and I put them in freezer bags and I freeze them, and then as I want them to use as a side, I take them out, thaw them for, I don't know, sometimes just a half out, just the morning in the refrigerator, and by noontime or early supper meal time, I just put them in a saucepan and warm it through, add a little butter, a little bit of pepper, and you're good to go. It's very healthy, it's very good for you, and like I said, 50 cents per acorn squash here in southwestern Wisconsin. So that's another little frugal tip of mine of how to preserve food and eat fresh food. We'll eat acorn squash every weekend, every Saturday and every Sunday until we're full up. And then whatever we have left over or we'll buy extra, I'll preserve in the freezer for us to eat after the squash season is over. Hey everyone, it's Kim from Simple Life, Happy Wife. We're in the car again. We're off to Farmer Laura's to pick up our vegetable haul for the week. We do this year after year, about 6 to 7 months of the year, and it averages out to be about $15 a week for us. I bring the vegetables home, I clean them up, I process them, and I freeze them. Tonight's video will feature all the different things that we purchased from her or other farm stands this spring and summer, and how I process them and put them away for my husband and I to eat all fall, winter, and the following spring. We've been doing this for a long time, and that's the way that we like to do things, and that's how we cut costs and have low budget meals filled with really healthy ingredients. Our diet has been the same since 2004, and it involves eating whole foods, eating as much from farmers markets and farm stands as we can for 7, 8, 9 months out of the year, and then processing the rest so we can eat it throughout the winter during the holidays and all the holiday meals and stuff like that. So that's how we do things. Our priority is not to waste food, and also to take the money that is set aside for our groceries each month and make the best use of it. And so we've been doing things that way for a long time. So I titled my video SHTF because around here, in our household, in our life, something's hitting the fan at all times. And so I often make videos about what's hitting the fan, and tonight, anything that might be hitting the fan in our week, I probably won't discuss in this video, but I will say if the prices continue to inflate at Walmart, some things are going to be hitting the fan, because obviously I've put a lot of vegetables up, but we still need some meat and bread and staples like that, and so we're going to have to start cutting corners even better. It won't include buying canned vegetables or stocking our house up to the hilt with stuff like, many people did during the pandemic. That worked for them. It doesn't work for us, but it may mean cutting some corners in some areas. And if we do, I'll be definitely sure to share that here on my YouTube channel to show you how we did it. So right now, the things that are high in the store that we are getting to the point that we can't afford, we're just making do with either the store brand or figuring some way around it. Right now, it's not really affecting us. We're able to find a cheaper version of the product that we're used to eating. So we'll see what hits the fan next week and in what's going to be a next week's video. Until then, be well. Thank you for joining me on my channel. If you like videos like this or fall decor, some fall travel as the leaves change and turn in Wisconsin, some holiday stuff for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and next year's Container Garden, hit the subscribe button and join me here for my video one time a week. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to show you the little mini haul that we got at Walmart tonight after we picked up our vegetables from Farmer Laura. It was $169, so I'm going to show you what $169 looks like. First of all, we got a loaf of bread. Of course, it was ripped by the time we got up there, but it was the only white made with whole grain Sara Lee bread that was left in the shelves, so we took it. Otherwise, you know, it just been thrown away, so it's still fresh. We'll still eat it. 2 packages of sliced provolone for lunches. That will last 1 month. 8 containers of yogurt. That'll last me approximately 2 weeks. Those are still $3.94. Bread is still over $3.50. The only yogurts left, my husband likes Dannon or some other kind along those lines. And the only thing that was left in the Wisconsin Dells one, which, you know, even though it's Wisconsin Dells and tourism, usually that Walmart is stocked, but lately the only yogurt we can see in the bunkers is Yoplait, so one of the cheaper yogurts for us, and it has a lot more sugar than my husband would like, but there you have it. That's all we have. Half and half. It's still at the price that I think I can remember buying it for quite some time, $1.48. Got some old-fashioned caramel dip for apples, because like I said, I plan on buying apples till apple season is over. Most of them I will process into applesauce or we'll just eat as is, but a couple of them I'll want to dip in some caramel just for old time's sake. Our cat's cat food is still just a few cents under $10 for 12 cans. We have this sensitive recipe Prego that is the only spaghetti sauce that we can use, or I can have, because it has no onion and no garlic. That's like $3 or $4. There's only 3 jars left on the shelf. We took them. Fortunately, we did clear out the shelf when it comes to something like this, because there's been times we've had to go far and wide to get it. I don't can my own. I'm not going to learn quick how to can tomato sauce. However, that being said, I am saving tomatoes in the freezer. I am planning on looking at some videos. I have bought a immersion blender, and I am open to definitely this winter making my own spaghetti sauce. Enough of this paying $4 or $5 and running all over the state. We can't do that anymore. My husband eats or takes a Cliff Bar to work. The only kind that's left is chocolate chip. And I think when it started out, there was 9, 10, 11 varieties of these. This is it. So we bought 2 boxes, 24. Each box is a little over $13, meaning each energy bar is a little over $1. When we started buying them in 12 bars in a box, they were like 76 cents a bar. Now they're well over $1 and hard to find, and this is the only flavor left. About a cauliflower, I took the greenery away, the stuff, because it was all rotten, so this was an organic one for $2.68. Each orange was 96 cents. I recently bought a juicer. I don't know if anyone here follows along with Helen H. She's a YouTuber, one of my favorite YouTubers. I saw her using a juicer just the other day. I went on Amazon and I purchased it, because I sit here and squeeze oranges all winter long. We buy 10 pounds at a crack. I don't think we'll be doing that this winter. But sporadically, we're going to be buying oranges to make fresh orange juice, and so 96 cents. Otherwise, you could get a 3, I think, pound bag for $10. Not going to happen. So, some bananas, some toilet paper. We bought 2 medium-sized pumpkins for decoration. They were $6.98 a piece. I think they're normally around that. And our local guy that sells pumpkins is not selling these particular variety colors pumpkins, so I did want 2 of those. $6.98. So the 2 pumpkins for $6.98, which I'll show you tomorrow. Toilet paper and everything that I just showed you here, plus a 12-pack of A&W, which was on rollback for $4.48 from $5.98, which is an inflated price. This whole total, $169. So that's what $169 looks like, folks, if you live in Wisconsin and you live close to Wisconsin Dells. And a couple more bags of tomatoes. These are some that I grew, and some that I got this month in September, and probably the end of my tomatoes. And then I've got some zucchini back there, 2 or 3 bags of that, and that will be added as sides or with eggs or hash browns or fried potatoes, even put into soup. So that is the end of what I preserved that fits into the chest freezer. And last but not least, some homemade applesauce. We went and got the first of the apples in this area at Sky High the other day. I ate my fill, used the rest for applesauce, but I do have a couple here because I want to try a little caramel with a couple of not too many. And then just eat the rest of them just plain. And then of course I'll continue to go get apples until apple season is over. I'll try every variety, just about every variety that they have. And each time there's some left over, I will make applesauce of them, and we'll end up with me being, my husband doesn't really care for applesauce that's, made from apples, a homemade applesauce. But I don't mind if I bring it out of the freezer and I eat it cold, or even if I rewarm it. So I happen to like it that way. So I'll have enough applesauce till next spring. There's a bag of sweet corn. They're in little packages, so each package is a meal side or to be added to a soup or a stew. And I have another one there, corn for soup specifically. So this is probably corn that we got from a stand that we weren't real fond of. But in soup, it doesn't really matter. A bag of cherry tomatoes, larger cherry tomatoes here. Okay, we're almost to the bottom of the freezer. Right down there, beyond this package of hot dogs, is the bottom. This is the frozen chicken right here. This is some of the stuff that I preserved. Okay, so one great big bag of tomatoes here. Last but never least, we have the freezer that's above the refrigerator, and here's some things that I preserved for this winter and early next spring. We've got the strawberries that I got for just a little over $2 a pound. I've got enough there if I wanted to make smoothies, but actually because our jam has gone up to almost $6 a jar, I'm going to make more jam probably in January and February to get us through until spring, and we'll see if the prices go down then. I've got green beans, little parcels of them that I can put in for each meal and stuff like that, where we each get a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of green beans, and I've got enough of those to last until April. I've got the start of squash there. That's the first package, but I have 7 more packages of squash in the chest freezer now since last night. That might not be featured in the video. I've got some pre-cooked, partially cooked zucchini. It works best for me that way to partially cook it because it stays solid, it stays firm, and I add that to soups and stews and potatoes and eggs throughout the winter. I've got more packets of corn up there. They're anywhere from 1/4 cup to a half a cup in that bag, and that will be added as a side. And then I have, as I show later in the video, some that are set aside for soup because we didn't quite enjoy that corn, but it will be good enough in a soup. I've also got some more green beans, blended wax and green or blended yellow beans and green beans, and that will be used for casseroles around Thanksgiving and Christmas. Over here I have first of the season zucchini, also partially cooked, and I wanted to make sure that bag stood out because that's the first one I did, so it'll be the first one that I will use. And then I have these 2 jams, which will be opened up here pretty soon because we're running low on jam, and like I said, we did not buy any more at the $5.94 price. So that's what this freezer looks like. I've got plenty of vegetables, plenty of fruit for jam. I'll be able to have sides with every meal. Certainly not buy anything we usually buy frozen in the store when fresh produce isn't available, but I won't need to buy any of that this year. Really what we'll be focusing on is just the basic weekly staples and some meat when prices go down a little bit, if they go down a little bit. So that's it for this freezer.